Greetings from Hong Kong. I don't know about that. You might be meaning greetings from China, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope things are okay in Hong Kong. I was there just last year, and I liked it. I like visiting, and I'm worried about what's going on right now. Will I throw grapple seeds into the barnacle today? I do not have a setup. I do not have a time set up with Casey to play again. I don't know if he'll want to or not. He might. He might not. More non-witches, of course. Satisfactory is on Steam. Which books did I read for compiler stuff? I learned compiler stuff in the 1990s. And I wish that I knew a good book that I could recommend to people, but I don't. You know, I bought a bunch of compiler books last year just so I could see if there was something to recommend. And all the ones I bought had bits and pieces that were good, but they also had lots of things that were bad or misleading, so I couldn't really recommend any of them. I mean, Dragon Book also, lots of old, outdated things. If you do what the Dragon Book says, you're not going to make a very good compiler, honestly. Would I think about writing a compiler book of my own? Not anytime soon. Maybe a far, far in the future. All right, well, if anyone shows up on the stream in chat and says, "Where's the Naanwich?" you can say, "Well, he ate it already, but I was there when it happened." Camera autofocus is freaking out. Well, welcome to computers. Do I use Linux? Not if I could help it. If every gaming company implements its own basic math, etc., libs itself, does that mean a huge waste of time for the world? No, not really. And it's not really true that everyone implements the same thing themselves. I mean, if you mean like sine, cosine, and all that stuff, no. Everyone just uses the standard library usually. Well, depends. But all that stuff, the thing you have to realize is all that stuff is a tiny percentage of the amount of effort it takes to make a game. Like making your own matrix libraries and stuff, you want to do that because you want control over them, and it's a tiny percentage of the amount of work that it takes to make a game, so it doesn't matter. Have I heard about using non-video puzzles for education? No, I don't know. It doesn't sound like something that I would try to do. Okay. Do I have any developed thoughts on doing game network code that I want to share, specifically related to the problem of hiding latency? Rollback, resim, etc. I don't think you should try to hide latency that much. I think that's a year 2005 thing to do. Like you definitely want to be decoupled from requiring round trips to do anything. Like you want that. But look, if somebody is playing your action game with 150 millisecond ping, they're making it miserable for everybody else if you're doing things to compensate for their 150 millisecond ping. So don't. Let the person with the 150 millisecond ping have the disadvantage. Don't punish everybody else for that. How hard is it to implement fundamental matrix operations well enough to be competitive with LAPACK? That is not the right question, because what we do in video games is usually very specific. We want 4x4 matrices, sometimes 4x3 and sometimes 3x3, and that is basically sometimes 2x2. LAPACK is for like arbitrarily sized matrices. Okay, that's like a different domain. So like if we want to invert something, we have a very specialized invert function that we just call and we know what it is. So that's a lot faster. Yeah. And that's also why I was saying a minute ago that it's not that big of a deal to make your own matrix routines, because it's not like you're trying to make LAPACK or Intel matrix, whatever. It's like you just need this. Like see this kind of thing? You just need this kind of a thing. I'm multiplying a matrix 3 times a vector 3. Like that's it. That's what you need for a game engine. There's a trade-off implicit in what you've said. You can trade off some of making the 150 ping pingers experience slightly better at the cost of making it work for others. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm okay with a small amount of latency compensation. And I think you ought to be able to opt into that as a player. So, you know, if there's a matchmaking system, then as a player, you should be able to say, I want to be in the 30 ping and below matchmaking tranche or whatever, right? I want a high quality game. I want a low quality game. But the point is, I don't think you should try to do rocket science to make the 150 ping player think that they don't have 150 ping. That's just a losing strategy. And you can also, like, you could configure it like, hey, I want a 10 ping or below game. If you can't find that for me after 20 seconds of matchmaking, give me a 30 ping or below game, right? Like, you can have your willingness to suffer high ping like go up as you wait longer and longer to get in a game, and you just let the player configure that. Didn't the Quake engine do that? I don't know. I don't know. All right. So I want to just think about, because I was doing this stuff today and I was like, some of this stuff, like the polar decomposition and so forth, like we really just want to be able to call this on a matrix 4 even, or something like that. Why are you transposing the frickin' matrix? Oh my god, dude. I guess because we're operating on it a bunch. I guess it wouldn't save that much. I guess if we want a matrix 4 version for this specific function, we could just make a wrapper, and it's not honestly that much slower because polar decomp is kind of slow. Like, this is not a fast function. And like, what the hell is this? It's like, all right. Let's at least file scope some of these. Someone else write this code? Yes, someone else did write this code. So I'm not sure what to do because I was like, this would be a good case to start doing some compiler features. And now I'm like, oh, maybe not. Let's see. So like here we have set rotation. For matrix 3 and matrix 4. Like, I honestly don't know why that's 2, but okay. Like, why that's not just 2. Okay, so we do all this, and then we set the elements. So we could use something like this here for sure. Same with get rotation. Like we don't even have a get rotation for matrix 3. That's goofy. All right, guys. All right. You hate when people convert quaternion to matrix that way. It assumes that the quaternion is exactly normalized to the magnitude of 1, which it may not be, so this method can introduce error into the final rotation matrix. Yes, but you should normalize your quaternion separately if you want. See, the problem is, if you make people pay for a square root, even when they don't need it, they'll get mad at you. I mean, we could have an optional argument that normalizes. We should actually wait, what? I zoned out. Okay. I mean, Have I seen the geometric algebra talk? And if yes, why? Normalizing quaternions is a question. Do you mean Marx? I didn't totally watch it, but maybe I should go, because I know most of the information. Oh, hey, Casey. No, someone was saying, hey, they hate when you convert a quaternion to a rotation matrix the way I was in my source code because it includes the scale factor of the length of the quaternion. And I was like, yeah, but you don't want to make people pay for a normalize. And I might just be forgetting that there's an alternate way to do it or something, you know, that's all. My point was just like, look, if you want to make a quaternion to rotation matrix function, you probably shouldn't force people to pay for the normalize, right? Because often we know it's unit length. Like often, most of the time, our quaternions are unit length, right? Well, in this programming language, we could actually have a compile time argument that says whether you want the normalize, right? And that wouldn't cost anything at runtime. So, you know, we could consider doing that. It's all good as long as you use ATAN2. Did that dude ever come back? The ATAN2 guy? Or did I embarrass him too hard? I didn't. I shouldn't be that. I shouldn't call people out that hard because, you know, they're just young and just trying to participate and just being smart. But when people say things that are that misguided and then double down on it when I try to correct them, it's crazy. Linear blending will fail if the inputs are arbitrary lengths. I mean, it won't fail. It'll just not be optimal, right? It's arbitrarily more wrong. Yes, it is arbitrarily more wrong. If the quaternion isn't unit length, then you're just scared. No, I mean, there are reasons like, okay, look, sometimes you want scale. And your quaternion, you're storing 4 numbers. I mean, you could do some stuff where you only store 3 plus an extra bit, but like, that's gross. So if you needed to store a scale factor anyway, like maybe in animation data, then maybe that's the right place to put it, depending on whether it costs you anything to factor that apart if you need it apart. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there are reasons. I wish I had more Naanwiches. I could eat another one. I should check if Casey answered my gamer email. He did. Okay, tomorrow at 7:30 should be okay. I think. I mean, I agree. So that game is yeah, it's not the good version of that game. Like, how would I say it? Like, I like the fact that it's an environment exploration game, but like, the environment is way too small and hand done in a way that leads you along and is not actually that interesting, I would say. Right? Yeah, it needs to have way less hand holding. It needed to not have things like the Batman Pepe Le Pews. And like, honestly, I think a game like this, like if you did procedural environment generation with like hand authored key locales, and then between those key locales, you were just like trying to survive and trying to explore, and it was actually a challenge, that could be really interesting, you know? A game I could have made with the Witness engine and made infinite money. Now, I mean, Witness engine, we would have had to beefed it up because it doesn't go beyond a certain distance very well. But then I guess you don't need to be able to see that far, right? Like, we probably just fog out past the Witness distance and it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the thing is this game, Savage Planet, it's way too much. Like I want to play games, you know. Like I want to play a game. I don't want to. What's a good analogy for what it actually is? Like, I was gonna say I don't want to watch Avengers: Infinity War, but it's like if Avengers: Infinity War were way more boring, right? And trying to do way. I mean, it's pretty boring, but like you know, like with not that kind of a budget or something, like a slow bad roller coaster where you can't do anything, right? But the commercials are good, so it has that going for it. Have I seen the Cherno's videos about the game engine he's been filming? I have seen a little bit of that dude's stuff on YouTube, but honestly, I mean, I've been in the game industry making game engines for a really long time, and it seems like his engine is like, isn't it like a 2D engine? Like there's, unless you're doing something technically radical, there's not a lot to say about 2D engines, I guess. No, he's modern C++. Yeah, that I would stay far away from that. Oh, it is 3D. Okay. It's a 3D thing with physically based shading. Okay. I must have been crossing it. I've definitely seen him talk about his engine a little bit, but I must be confusing it with something else. He made a full video of trying to get rid of warnings. Well, if you used a language whose basic type conversions made any sense, then you wouldn't have a warning problem. It's like it's the year 2020, guys. Get it together. Can I compile? Probably. All right. So we want to make interfaces work. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. I think I am doing this wrong. See, now I don't want to talk about what I'm thinking about because I don't want, for the same reasons that I've discussed with Casey about me being annoyed. See, I decided to start working on compiler stuff, and then I decided to start working on something interesting on the compiler. And now I'm having thoughts about how to do it, and I don't actually want to say those thoughts. So I'm not sure what to do now. Switch to Git, obviously, is the thing to do. Yeah, I'm going to do this a different way. Okay. concerned about other people misinterpreting those thoughts. I'm concerned about other people doing the low effort version of the things I'm working on and pooping them out into the market and trying to win in some kind of PR battle with the cheap Chinese imitation product. You know what I mean? So like we have to keep some trade secrets so that China doesn't win, is what I'm saying. I mean, I know lots of cool guys in China. I have friends in China. But I also don't want my baby to drink baby food that is actually talcum powder dissolved in water. Do I use a different working screen space when not streaming? No, not really. This is what I do. I usually do full screen editor with about this font size. Is there any practical difference between quaternions and geometric algebra because you thought they boiled down to the same thing? Well, okay, so the thing about geometric algebra is it is, generally speaking, it is a better framework than linear algebra for conceptualizing how to solve your problems. Because it extends to arbitrary numbers of dimensions and because things are simpler in it, right? So all the weird stuff in linear algebra about having to do similarity transforms, you know, and like, what do you call it? Whatever the transpose of a vector is called is not the same thing as a vector. Like all that stuff goes away in geometric algebra. And geometric algebra, generalizes to n dimensions, right? It's like and the stuff you do doesn't change really as you raise the number of dimensions, whereas, like well, there's famous examples like the cross product obviously only works in 3D, right? And then what do you do? All this problem solving that involves the cross product is one of the elements. What do you do if you're in 4D all of a sudden, right? And so it's better for that reason. That said, and I like it because of its simplicity, but that said, some people like versions of linear algebra or of geometric algebra. There are extensions of it that don't feel as simple to me. So like it starts getting complicated again if you start following the trendy stuff. I believe that the rotor stuff, again, this is something, so I've never done rotors specifically. I think rotors are the same as quaternions, except there's like a sign difference somewhere. But other than that, I'm pretty sure they're basically the same. But I don't actually remember. That's why you were confused about the don't use quaternions, use rotors bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing with that because I don't really remember, honestly. Because I've never done rotors, right? Because quaternions have been fine for me my whole adult life. Um, and, like, there's never been a concrete reason to use geometric algebra as opposed to linear algebra, like in actual code, right? There might become one in the future, but right now there isn't. So, I mean, what I remember from years ago is that it's literally the same math with just a sign difference. I mean, if you think about it, how could it be that different, right? I mean, a quaternion is basically it's a 3D vector, right? And then a scale factor around that vector describing the rotation around it that gets multiplied in, right? Um, in geometric algebra, a rotor is a bivector. Um, and that bivector has a scalar that tells you what the rotation is that's like the magnitude of the bivector, right? Now, of course, a bivector and a vector are just three coordinates, right, in 3D space. So it's not really like it's the same amount of numbers. Yeah. Okay. Actually, this isn't the right way to do it either. You know, I'm just changing my mind about everything. Okay. We're going to do that. Really? Oh. No, that's a weird place for that. Okay. What's going on out there today, people? How are things in life? How are things in life? The whole world is burning and everyone is dying and all our institutions have failed us. Well, that's at least partially true. How much of the team for the next game needs to know the programming language? I mean, everyone who's programming it. Okay. Okay. Let's just require a strict match right now. Okay. Dope. C++. Just making me do things over and over so many times. C++. I'm so glad I'm getting off this language. So glad. Site. Oh, I didn't pass the site. C++. Oh, wait. There's a typo in Timo Prairie. Well, it is now. Totally intentional. Okay. I just shipped a major feature. Well, not shipped, but bro. Okay, that's how you know you designed your programming language the right way. Win. Win. When I have succeeded in the games industry, it's true. We're going to succeed even more than we ever have. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. So let's actually use this. Let's go to here and we will do this. See if that frickin' works. Could blow up in my face. Should say why it doesn't match. Oh, also, I'm going to switch around the way this works. Hope I didn't screw it up too bad. Hi. Could be bedtime eventually. Lame. Oh yeah, and then Bro. C++ doesn't have multiple return values. It could lick the bottom of my shoes. Fuck this language, dude. Such a tedious ass language. God. I'm ready to put my fist through the monitor, guys. I'm tired of factoring things back and forth for stupid reasons. Good thing I have so much meditation training, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, source type. Okay. Type restriction does not match. Oh, because I forgot the frickin' thing. Obviously, it's not going to work if I forget the frickin' thing. GG's, I didn't even need that error information that I was putting in. All right, so we implemented C++ concepts in like 1 hour, or like the rest of them that we didn't have. So that's great. Ay, ay, ay. I'm getting hungry again. The Naanwich was not enough. Why did we define abs for vectors? Blah. Let's actually fix this. I hope this is right. Dope. see if we screwed that up in any obvious way. Whoa, we did. Wait, what? Oh. I undid too far. All right. I think I just mistyped, yeah, I mistyped a coefficient somewhere, and rather than debug that, because we can't use these little short coefficients that much in this function anyway, especially down here. Oh, let's try this again. No, let's be consistent. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Sometimes people just add random ass code, dude. Like, this is not gonna... Oh, I guess it's fine, actually. It's weird. This is probably enough for now. Except that I broke something. Make matrix 3, line 306 and 314. Yes, because this is redundant now. Lol, whoops. Lol. I think we're going to Benny test. And then we're going to bed detest, which is when you see if it's bedtime. I don't know if you guys knew that. That's a technical term. All right, let's make the release build. This has been a good day. Good day, sir. How would you write a bedtime test? Usually I lay down in the bed to evaluate whether it is bedtime, and it almost always is when I do that. Very close to 100% of the time. You know, I'm looking over at my Twitch screen here, and there's this giant button that says run 60-second ad break, which, like, if I could run the ads from Journey to a Savage Planet, I would hit that button right now. Unfortunately, you're going to get a lame ad for like Tampax or something. Whatever's trendy right now. Antifa style Tampax. It's got the little flag on it. What am I talking about? There's not going to be like feminine products advertised on Twitch. That's not what it would be. It would be like Oxy Zit cream and like gamer diapers. G Fuel. Yeah, G Fuel. What actually does get advertised on Twitch? I'm sure that many of you people are not primed up and don't know. Or do Twitch Primes still get ads now? Is that a thing? Do I intend the interface thing to extend to function definitions? No, not right now. It's just for structs. I don't even know what it would mean for function definitions. Maybe there's something not obvious that I'm not thinking of. I guess I know what it would mean, don't I? Right? It's like the functions don't have to be the exact type, as long as you can call it with the following arguments. The thing with interface is we use concrete types for it. So like we wouldn't have a way to say we don't care about the return value, for example. We don't care about the return type. But maybe we'll figure that out. We're still going. I didn't break anything too bad. I got to run the tests while all this is going, everybody. I could have broken tests. All sorts of bad things could happen. Do you have support for tagged unions? No. Did I feel the need to add that? No. See, tagged unions are fine until you actually care about your program being efficient. And then you rapidly become sad. So if we figure out a way to do it where you can actually not be sad, and also that's not super cumbersome and weird, we might do it. But is it done already? Uh-oh. What? All right, stop. We're ending on a new level, so... Wow, dude, the Benny test is so fast now. I was like, oh my god, it's done. All right. Well... Let's see if I had no check-ins. Nope. Great. Probably ship the new compiler beta tomorrow. That would be 1 week from the last beta. Which is a good time to ship a beta, isn't it? Isn't it? It's not too bad to get this much stuff done also on a week where I gave a 90-minute talk. Oh my God. It's so hard to prep a 90-minute talk. It's way harder than an hour talk. I don't know why. You're more referring to a struct that contains namespaces of pure function. The interface requires that there exists a function in the struct's namespace in addition to the variables. Okay, so the way it works is for everything in that target declaration, it just makes sure that there's something with that name and that type. So yeah, if you need a function of a certain type under a certain name, that'll work already. What won't work is functions that you could call with 3 arguments but might happen to have more, for example, right? Because they have defaults or something. What should be the first game to learn all those graphics engine stuff? I do not understand the question. What was the talk I gave? It was about educational games. It is in the Twitch VODs right now if you want to go see it. We're going to upload it to YouTube later. How do I generally prep for a talk? By prepping for the talk. I don't understand the question. I mean, you have to write the talk. You have to think about what you're going to say. You have to make slides. You have to make the slides better. You have to work on your slideshow program a little bit more to add some features or fix some behavior that you don't like about it. Do we have C-style empty array? Yeah, you can do that if you want. Did I drink G Fuel to prep for the talk? I did not think of that. You meant, do you suggest a well-known simple game to clone to learn all those things? No, I mean, if you want to make a game to learn stuff, just pick a game that you think is interesting and exciting. That's the most important part. If you're interested, you have a better chance of doing well. I think I might have accidentally turned autofocus back on. There's a way to turn it off, etc. Yeah, I don't want to add more projects to stream. You guys, there's even stuff that I'm working on that hasn't been announced that you don't know about. I've just got too many irons in the fire right now. All right, everybody, I think that's going to be it for the stream. I think we are doing okay. Am I working on only 1 game or more? I'm working on 2 games right now. It used to be 3, but we sort of put one on pause for a while. Did I ever redo the braid rewind mechanic talk? Nope. Nope. All right. Good night, everybody. I'll see you later.